Some big economic news coming out today as President Joe Biden is eager to run on the economy, and it's going to be Bidenomics. They're saying he's taking a page out of Reagan's book for Reaganomics, but voters have their doubts, and I can't imagine why. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let's take a look at some of the economic promises we received throughout the Biden administration. Critics say that Biden's COVID relief plan breaks the promises of the $2,000 stimulus checks. That's right. This is back in January of 2021. We had heard we were going to see a fourth federal level stimulus check of $2,000. They had said originally it was going to be the third check that was going to be $2,000. They said he broke his promise. It was unfulfilled. This was for everybody in the nation. But not only that, take a look at this. We should also increase monthly Social Security checks by $200 per month as proposed by Senator Wyden and colleagues. Seniors and people on disabilities are uniquely at risk right now, said Biden. This was back in March of 2020. Another unfulfilled promise, calling it out in his tweet while he was running for president. Now we'll see what else is going to get called out while he's running for re-election, and will he actually bring some of these to fruition right before elections? As we usually see, things start to get moving right when it's about time to vote on who's going to be in positions of power. Now, here is one that we have seen a little bit of traction on. President Biden announces student loan relief for borrowers who need it the most, and we actually saw that he did propose $10,000 of student loan debt forgiveness, $20,000 for those on Pell Grants, but that one is still not yet fulfilled either. And in addition to that, we've had several other promises, but those are some of the big ones. And a lot of people are wondering, why have we not tapped into the existing COVID money that is still just sitting there? I've been letting you know we had $800 billion of leftover funds from previous stimulus packages. It has whittled down over time, now down to $300 billion, but that is still enough that they could send out about a $1,200 stimulus check to everybody in the nation if they wanted to fulfill one of those promises or do something to help Social Security. Now, we will see. Now, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest because this is just coming out in the past 24 hours that he is now saying that he is going to be running on Bidenomics. And take a look. Can Bidenomics save Biden's re-election bid? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If he turns the economy around, will that change your thoughts on him? Do you think that he'll change the economy? White House pushes Bidenomics as their 2024 campaign message. So let me share with you what it is that he's saying is going to be coming with our economy, and we will see if these come to fruition. Now, before we dive in, do me a quick favor, smash the like button if you appreciate the updates. Hit subscribe to stay up to date, and also, if you missed my last video, we've heard warnings that there could be payments that do not go out for Social Security if it is not addressed soon. So hopefully this will be one of the items that we see that comes from the Biden administration or somebody here soon. Congress has dropped the ball on Social Security. They've got to get something done. So stick around to the end for an update on that, but let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so as always, link in the description below to this article that literally came out an hour ago today. This was just launched, you guys. As you know, I like to give you the latest news as it's coming out. Bidenomics. And let me know your thoughts, because I know a lot of people associate Biden and economics with inflation and high interest rates and supply chain issues and all of the things that we've experienced the past couple years. Do you think he can turn it around? Let me know your thoughts and what you think about Bidenomics in the comments down below. Now, this article says that President Joe Biden is eager to take full political ownership of the U.S. economy, a reflection of the White House belief that inflation is fading, job growth is solid, and voters need to know about it. But polling has consistently shown the economy to be a weak spot for Biden's re-election hopes. Just 33% approve of his leadership on this issue, according to a May survey by the Associated Press. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are things getting better, or are we still in a distressed situation with our economy? For much of his presidency, Biden has blamed high gasoline prices, painfully rising food costs, and other cost of living expenses on the pandemic and the war in Ukraine. He said those two factors were beyond his control as inflation hit a 40-year high last summer and crushed his approval ratings. In a Chicago speech on Wednesday, Biden will begin a new effort to actively convince a worried public that the U.S. economy is not heading for a recession, but actually thriving because of his leadership. For him, there's a happy confluence of the coming 2024 re-election campaign campaign and a favorable turn in recent economic data, leading the White House to believe that public messaging about Bidenomics will help to rally Democratic voters going into next year. Now, the message is not a new one, though the White House believes it bears repeating so that it soaks in. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said at Monday's news press briefing that President Biden's upcoming remarks would be a cornerstone speech and part of a larger administrative-wide effort. It's a vision about growing the economy from the middle out and the bottom up. You hear us say that over and over again because we believe that the trickle-down economics does not work. We have the data to prove it. Indeed, the rate of inflation has fallen over the past year while the job market has remained solid, a combination that seemed unlikely to many economic analysts who expected efforts to bring down inflation would cause layoffs and a recession. Goldman Sachs has put the odds of a recession in the next 12 months at 25%, down from its previous estimate of 35%. Consumer prices rose at an annual pace of 4% in May, down from 9.1% last June. That's still higher than the Federal Reserve's 2% target, indicating that inflation remains a challenge. But employers added a robust 339 jobs last month in a sign that the economy appears poised to keep growing. And the inflation-adjusted annual increase in what people earn each hour turned positive in May, one of the main indicators that White House officials have been looking for as proof that the economy was helping workers. Biden's GOP rivals have said that the president has broken the U.S. economy. They've tiptoed, though, around the healthy 3.7% unemployment rate and focused instead on prices at the gas pump, grocery bills, the debt tied to Biden's $1.9 trillion in pandemic relief, and the administration's focus on shifting away from fossil fuels in order to combat climate change. I will stop Joe Biden's inflation nightmare and save the U.S. economy, said former President Donald Trump. Let me know in the comments down below. Would you prefer former President Donald Trump to come back into office, or would you prefer Bidenomics? He said this in a speech to evangelical Christians last weekend. You would think that these economic problems with inflation, you may want to tap into more domestic energy, said Ron DeSantis in a speech. But no, Biden is deliberately trying to kneecap our energy production, and he's trying to force Americans into electric vehicles, which will make us more reliant on China, who provides most of the materials for those batteries. Now, part of Biden's challenge is that confidence in his economic leadership has waned. In March of 2021, just after his round of pandemic relief became law, 60% of U.S. adults approved of how the president was handling the economy, according to an AP Nork Center of Public Affairs poll. Since then, that figure has essentially halved. Still, there are signs that people's views of the economy are improving. The University of Michigan survey of consumers' sentiment showed that Democrats, Republicans, and unaffiliated voters feel better about the current state of the economy than they did a year ago. But confidence among Democrats is still weaker than it was during Biden's first year. The administration released a memo ahead of Biden's Wednesday speech that made the point that the policy ideas are broadly supported in polls, leaving unsaid that those proposals generally fare better than the president himself does. Now, Biden's aides see Bidenomics as an expansive framing to a host of the president's policies for easy public consumption, tying together a diverse set of initiatives meant to boost the nation's global competitiveness with programs meant to strengthen the middle class at home. The president is betting that targeted government investments can catapult the economy forward and help workers. During his first 2 years when Democrats controlled the House, Biden followed up on his pandemic relief by pushing through a bipartisan infrastructure building bill, funding for computer chip plants, and tax breaks to encourage the use of renewable energy. This approach goes back to Biden's own blue-collar identity that surfaces in his speeches, the Scranton, Pennsylvania kid whose family at times just eked by financially. But it can take several years to replace bridges and tunnels, to build new factories, and to lay broadband cables for the internet, and to make drivers comfortable with buying electric vehicles. There's a lag between the economy that the president is promising and what voters will likely see by the 2024 elections. So again, they're saying he's going to be making promises that people will see as unfulfilled. Biden, in his remarks in 2021, had initially dismissed higher inflation as transitory, saying he was confident that the bout coming out of the pandemic was temporary. Those remarks became a point of attack among Republican lawmakers and some economists as inflation worsened after his statements. Yet Biden has stressed that he provides an alternative to GOP policies that try to boost the economy mostly through tax cuts. He said Monday in announcing more than $40 billion to ensure high-speed internet for the entire country that his ideas are similar to the New Deal era playbook used to combat the Great Depression nearly a century ago. What we are doing, as I said, is not unlike what Franklin Delano Roosevelt, or FDR, did when he brought electricity to nearly every American home and farm, Biden said. The question is whether voters think that Biden can deliver just as FDR did, and whether elections work the same way as they did back in 1936 when the Rural Electrification Act became law. Later that November, Roosevelt won more than 60% of the popular vote as he won his second term. In today's polarized era, Biden is unlikely to secure anywhere near that margin, but his message on Wednesday will likely be that his presidency has already begun to reshape the world's largest economy for the better, and that voters should judge him on that record. Wow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So what do you think? Bidenomics need to come to an end, or 4 more years of Bidenomics? Let me know your thoughts. And in addition to that, as I let you guys know, Social Security, there has been a ton of stuff going on with it. I've been keeping you guys up to date on the Social Security 2100 Act, Biden's 4-point plan to increase benefits. We're hearing by $485 a month. If you missed that video, check it out right here. And also check out my video from yesterday where I let you know we've heard there could be some massive cuts coming if Social Security is not addressed soon. So check out those videos. But with that being said, you guys, that is the latest. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.